So here we are in May 2017. Kobe and I have decided to spend a few days in Quebec City. This is the first real day. There's Kobe, and he's standing under the sign of the little hotel, or the dingy little hotel that we're staying in for 3 nights. Okay. Let me tell you something, Kobe, may I?
Yeah.
I was here something like 40 years ago.
Yes.
When I was still at the U of T.
Yes.
Okay? I was actually on this square.
Yeah.
And pretty well where I'm standing, there was this enormous snowman.
Yes.
And they do this every winter in Quebec. It's called Le Bonhomme. Translates into the good man. I don't know why. In some sense, I guess it's a symbol of Quebec City. I remember it. Everything covered in snow, huge snowman. And I know what I came for.
Yes.
They have an ice sculpture exhibition here in February.
They do, that's right.
And they make these ice sculptures which then melt within a couple of weeks. And I came all the way here to see it.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Sounds like a great vacation, Dad. Alright, on that note, we'll
Au revoir.
au revoir.
And we'll be walking over there to stand over the mighty St. Lawrence. Samuel de Champlain, founder of Quebec City. And what we were looking at before was the upper town of old Quebec, and this is actually the lower town down here. Okay, a lot of this didn't exist at the time that Quebec was captured. It was all, a lot of it was actually built in landfill long after the annexation by the British. Most of Quebec City's architecture, surprisingly, in the old city, is British. Not French, but most of the French architecture didn't survive the 400 years. But here we have a corner that is actually restored to be as the original French, not the wooden balconies that you would not find in the other parts of old Quebec City. And again, Chateau Frontenac, contrary to what I had expected, was not ever the residence of the governor of New France. It wasn't there yet. This was built in the early 1900s. But most people think, well, obviously a castle like that must have had some sort of greater significance than it really does. And I was taking a stroll through a port, I guess, in Quebec City, and I saw this, and this is an icebreaker. I'll take a picture from the front soon enough. It's the Amundsen, so I know that to be an icebreaker. Rather interesting there. That's the helicopter pad there, and I didn't realize they actually had a hangar for the helicopter, so when they're in rough seas, rough weather, the helicopter can be pulled inside the hangar. So that's the Amundsen from above. Now I notice we have another one over there. It's the Radisson, the other one in that class, the other icebreaker in that class. Yes, they are in the same class. They look identical. Clearly a smaller boat. Unfortunately, I can't find any name on it. Let's say Canada, but nothing else. It is smaller. It does have a helicopter pad there, but there's no room for the hangars that were in the other two boats. Oh well. Well, I'm in the downtown core of Quebec City, and I'm sort of on my way to the original Laval University. This may have been part of it. Probably not. That's newer. But as I said, I'm working my way towards certainly an attractive part of Quebec City. And that there is what I normally associate with Laval University, the oldest educational institution in Canada from the 1600s. It was a seminary to begin with, but that's where lawyers were trained, for example, in New France. But it became a fully fledged university in 1852, which probably makes it about the, hard to say, one of the earlier universities, but certainly not the earliest. That particular title belongs to King's College in Halifax in Nova Scotia. Well, I'm on the way to trying to find the front of the old Laval University, but I saw these on the way. I find them absolutely fascinating. It's not about the cannon, it's about the rails that the cannon are situated on. So clearly you could move them up and down. I guess you'd move them back to load them and then down on the rail to actually fire at the British or the Americans later on. Great stuff. So now I'm coming back from reserving a restaurant. Okay, first I went to see the old Laval University, then I went to reserve a place in a restaurant, and yeah, this is probably the ultimate mural I've seen in Canada. Okay, the side of a building, as if it was real. You notice the figures are actually life size. It's big and it's splendid. Okay, so all this is just a mural. It's not the real thing. So this must be as it was hundreds of years ago. Okay, splendid mural in just the right place. Now, if you look more carefully, you'll see that the people shown here are of all ages. Okay, some that are from medieval times, like this guy here. But this guy would be from at least 100 or 200 years later, and this would be somebody from today. With nuns it's hard to tell. Okay, Oh, these guys are obviously, you know, 1600s or something, right? And over there we have some lawyers, probably from the 1800s. Great stuff. So Quebec City has its share of little squares. Not that many, but enough to make it really interesting. So here's one of them. No traffic, thank God. So I'm on top of the Citadel now, looking down onto the St. Lawrence, across the city. So now we're inside the Citadel. And that is the only entrance into the Citadel, of course. Defensive measure. My group. So I've come out of the Citadel now. This is the other side of the gate I just walked through. And the Citadel is the official headquarters of the... I'll try and get this right. Okay, that's the name of the regiment in short. In long it's Royal 22e Régiment. Okay, the only French-speaking regiment in the Canadian Army. Isn't that wonderful? The sun has finally come out. Now I'm walking along the wall that what remains of it around Quebec City. So I've just crossed over the top of a gateway, okay, that spans one of the major roads into the old city, and over a little further we can see the spires of the next gateway, and all being well, that's where I'm going to go. I believe there's 4 of these. Now we're closer. And once I'm through there, I have no idea where I go. Probably somewhere down and to the right. Actually, not to the right. There it is. There's the next one. And there is probably the one after that, unless that's the railway station. I love these green copper roofs. Onwards we go. No, I don't know what that building is, but it looks interesting. Okay. Art Deco or something, I don't know, maybe. And then there's that freestanding wall. No idea what it is. I will never know. So that's looking at where I came from another angle. Now this building is in the way, but then I came down here. Here's the wall. It's getting complicated now because we seem to be coming to the end. There must have been a gate here once, but you can see the remains of the walls over there. Obviously being renovated. Looks like the remains of a gate over there. And then as a pan to the right, clearly the railway station. That's where I'll go. And God knows what happens to the wall then. Bye. So this part's been restored. Hopefully I can get up there, make my way down there. Now these apparently used to be here military barracks right next to the wall. It's called Artillery Park. In the process of renovation, I think. Doesn't look too good now, but it was part of the military structure. You can even see that from these here. So here I am over another gate, but it's probably time to look backwards. So that's where I came from. Definitely a break in the wall here, just here, okay. I guess I'm going to have to walk along this this sidewalk here next to the old barracks before the wall starts up again. No, I don't think I'd want to be at night. It's probably okay now. There's nobody around. The sun is shining, that helps. A lot of graffiti. Over on the side there we've got these sort of doors and things, so I guess the kind of storage area is used for something. So up we go again. So I guess I don't see a wall as such, but I guess that's what would have been the wall along there. That's where I'm going to go. Obviously nothing wallish down there. So now I'm heading east along the northern side of the wall. Obviously this is no longer a wall. This used to be a wall. Now it's a street. So I've reached the St. Lawrence here, and grain silos. We've seen them from the other side. Hope to come back there tonight because apparently they're all lit up. It's supposed to be very interesting. Very good, apparently. And we have evidence that I got lost. This really is the wall because we got some cannon here. Where else would they be but on the wall? Not only the grain silos, but we've reached the farmers market. Kobe and I were there yesterday. So we're close to familiar territory. And in fact, I'm now approaching the old Laval University, the familiar spire up there, but haven't done the complete circle. That was about 2.5 miles around from the Citadel. So obviously I haven't got to the Citadel yet, but it won't be long now. Well, it's pretty obvious why there is no real wall here. This was a sort of a cliff or an escarpment originally, so the escarpment of the cliff was the wall. And apparently down there, which is called the Lower Town, was all part of the St. Lawrence. This was filled in years after conquest and has become an urbanized area, but waters came right up to there somewhere. No, I think we've seen these particular guns, but from the other side. Big one. And there we are, proof that I've made a complete circle. Almost. Still have to get to the Citadel, of course. So instead of the wall we have what's called the Griffon terrace along the top of the cliff. There would have been, yeah, you could again see some armaments there, the cannon, but tourist boardwalk, Griffon terrace. And over there, as promised, you see the edge of the Citadel from the other side where I started. So I've done it. That was about 2.5 miles around. Well, here is a major city square. I confess I don't know who the gentleman there is. But over here we have probably the cathedral. We're going to check in a minute. Okay. Not huge, but probably big enough. And on this side of the square, Hotel de Ville, which I think means City Hall, Quebec City Hall. Quite a grand building too. Right, I'm closer now. This guy clearly was a bishop of some kind. Bishops are very important in Quebec at the time. But I don't see any description. Maybe around the back. It turns out that this is the Basilica Cathedral of Notre Dame of Quebec City. Unfortunately, it's closed. It only opens for tourists in July and August. I am most unhappy. I suppose yesterday, because today's Monday, yesterday, Sunday, if I had known we could have come at Mass time and would have seen it then. This is another, oh well. Didn't have much luck with the Catholic Cathedral, Notre Dame, but here at least we've got actually a very sad looking structure. This is the Anglican Church, the Anglican Cathedral in Quebec City. This is from the days when the Anglos were the elite in the city. Tiny minority, but they were the elite, and they had their own cathedral right in the middle. And you can't see it from here, but it's pretty sad when you walk around. It's unkempt and there's just virtually no Anglos left. The days of the Anglo elite are gone, and the cathedral is not looking too good. It's locked anyway, can't see it. Nobody looks after the weeds. That's history for you.